What is your personal why and how are you manifesting it in your business?
My why is all about lifting others. And what I mean by that is I have this ability to extract other people's why and their purpose from them, help them better see that, get clarity around it, and then help them get traction to go attack that why.
We are a podcast of frameworks, and you talked about this satisfaction pyramid framework.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit about this pyramid and how did you come up with it and what does it do?
For me, I think brand awareness is first. If your brand awareness is out there, it's really strong, people are going to gravitate towards it organically.
What makes McMahon Custom Homes unique? Is it the culture that makes you unique, or is there something else?
I don't know that it's our culture that makes us unique. I think what really makes us unique is, I think it's our process on how we do things.
Before we dive in, a quick note. If you want weekly tools to grow and lead your business, sign up for my free newsletter at stevebreda.com/newsletter. Good day, dear listeners. Steve Breda here, the founder of the Southerners Group and the host of Management Blueprint. And my guest today is Joshua McMahon, the president of McMahon Custom Homes and a business coach, although I don't know how much time you have for that these days, Josh. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Steve. You know, we go a long ways back, so it's an honor to be a business owner and now be on your show.
Well, yeah, you are a business owner. In your previous recent life, you was an integrator, a CEO of a business. So you've been running construction businesses and been a C-level in other construction businesses where we also collaborated. So we have been tracking each other's journey for sure. So Josh, let's start with my favorite question. What is your personal why and how are you manifesting it in your business?
Yeah, I think this is always a great question. And you know, the real truth of this question, Steve, is that I didn't know what it was for so long. I thought my personal why was just to make more money. Mm-hmm. And every time I made more money, I was just more miserable. I was never happy. So my why was never money. I really think my why is all about lifting others. And what I mean by that is I have this ability to extract other people's why and their purpose from them, help them better see that, get clarity around it, and then help them get traction to go attack that why. Mm-hmm. And that's really my why, is to help lift other people to really achieve their greatness. So I get a lot of energy and joy from boosting others and watching that untapped potential really take off.
So that is fabulous. And I can see that as a business coach, that is really very appealing to people when you can do that. And how does it manifest in your construction business? You have this custom homes construction business. How does that help you there?
You know, and this is where it was really born from. So in the C-suite, and as I grew in my business, the one part that you have to do is you have to know how to recruit. At least I had to know how to recruit. And in order to recruit, you have to find the right talent at the right price. And what I was really looking for was that potential. I was looking for the right attitude, the right hunger, right? I was looking for those right pieces that I could make you a construction individual. I could make you a great construction manager, but I couldn't fix those other things. Mm-hmm. And so when I could tap into that and take and help somebody see the vision of what I could do and what our company could help you do in your career, that's where I was able to really take and 10x my recruiting ability, but also to really tap into that untapped talent that's out there. Because as you know, Steve, we have a hard time finding talent in the construction industry. Well, the talent's out there. What's making it hard is that we don't recognize that talent. And we're saying, you've got to be this perfect candidate. You've got to fit all these marks. You've got to check all the boxes. And I'm saying, no, I just need you to check a few boxes. I'm going to help you see how you can really fit into this organization and how we can help you thrive. So that's where my ability to see that in them, help them see that in themselves, and then help them tie it to our vision as a company. That's where it really gets a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's so interesting that it's not just about doing the job, but it's about being emotionally invested in doing the job. And how do you get your people emotionally invested? You have to find the motivation that they have inherently that you can tap into. And then you have to make your business attractive so that it inspires them, so that they feel excited to work with you there.
That's exactly what you're trying to do. It's like you're not trying to fool anybody on anything, but to think people just get excited to come do work or just do the job or just collect the paycheck. If that's your motivation, that's the type of candidate you're going to get. And then what type of culture do you have? So if you flip that and you say, hey, we want to help you transform who you are, transform your career for the better, and it's going to help us get to our vision. Well, Steve, that sounds like a win-win scenario to me, and that's a really appealing piece, and that's a thriving culture.
Yeah, and culture eats strategy for breakfast, said Peter Drucker. And especially in the age of AI, uh,
Yeah.
it's probably even more important, isn't it, that you have a great culture because AI can copy everything, but it won't be able to copy your culture.
No, that's exactly right. I think AI is a great tool. It's really going to help us magnify and improve our businesses. But if your culture is broken, AI is just going to magnify the brokenness of your culture, and then AI is going to tell your people how to go find another job.
So that is probably true. I haven't thought about that. So you developed this framework. We are a podcast of frameworks. I'm always looking for the framework, and
Yeah,
you talked about this satisfaction pyramid
yeah,
framework.
yeah,
Is this also something that helps create that culture? Tell me a little bit about
yeah.
this pyramid and how did you come up with it and what does it do?
Yeah, it's an interesting thing, right? So you understand Maslow's hierarchy of needs, and these are the things that you need for survival and for happiness. And I've said, look, in home building, we've always talked about customer experience, customer satisfaction. We want people to be happy. And I'm saying, well, I don't know what that means. I don't know, like, if I hit my schedule, if I hit my budget, if I do everything on time, but they're still not happy. So it's like, what exactly am I missing? What's the missing link? And kind of tying the hierarchy of needs to this triangle of customer satisfaction or happiness, I found that there's some real key fundamental pieces that we've got to lock into place to really get to that customer satisfaction or that customer experience that we're seeking. For me, I think brand awareness is first. If your brand awareness is out there, it's really strong, people are going to gravitate towards it organically. And that's going to decrease your SEO spend, you decrease your marketing, decrease your turnover for people because people want to be part of that, right? Interesting story on brands, and I don't know how true it was. I meant to look it up before this, but I saw something on social media about Tommy Hilfiger. And before he launched his clothing brand, he didn't have anything. But his brand was so far out in front of himself that people thought this was this great designer and he hadn't designed anything. And it was all tied to that piece of brand. So if your brand is strong enough, you can do incredible things. So I think brand is super important.
Yeah,
But
let me just interject here. So probably 20 years ago, I was working with a company, and it was actually the construction space. It was in the environmental construction space. And this company had an amazing brand. So the founder was a great thought leader, and he was blogging and he was talking in forums. And I really thought that this company is gotta be a $50 million company. I mean, they are so powerful. And then they invited me to their board as a board member. Says, "Wow, this is such an honor." This big company, and turned out it was just a $5 million company. But the brand was so powerful that they looked much bigger.
yeah, and that statement, that's an appealing thing. So if you think of yourself as a high level achiever, an A player, and you're gravitating to that brand, that's what it's going to do. You're going to bring in the right people, and then if you've got the right culture and the right other pieces, you're going to stick around with that company. So a $5 million company can look like a $50 million company and be really attractive
Yeah,
to people that are interested in that type of world. So
yeah,
super important. Love that story. The second thing for me is team support. This is where I really saw in my career as I grew. I can tell you my first construction job in construction management level, my VP of construction told me, and this is 20 plus years ago, I haven't forgotten it. He said, my leadership style is to give you just enough rope to hang yourself. And to this day, I have no idea what the heck that means. But what he did show me was he wasn't going to support me. He wasn't going to encourage me. He wasn't going to help me grow. He was basically going to let me swim in the deep end. And if I made it, great. And if I didn't, no problem. There's another guy behind me.
mhm,
And that's the mentality of the construction industry. And what I said was, we do a great job of spending money for our sales team. Sales team needs training, we'll spend the money on training. If the executives need money training, we'll spend the money on training. Well, who's training the middle managers? Who's training the young men and women coming into the industry? Who's training the people who don't have the experience? There's a big miss in that world. So I think from an internal standpoint, and mind you, coaching is a buzzword right now, and just as leadership is, not everybody's a coach and not everybody's a leader, and it's okay. But if you do have somebody who can coach on your team and you can coach your team up internally, it's a very big value add. And so for me, my coaching ability has been a real value add for people that I've recruited, for people I've had on my team, and I've really invested in them and grown. And quick story on coaching, I interviewed this young candidate. I mean, really good looking kid. He had tons of talent, education, everything he needed. No construction experience, but all of the right soft skills. And it came down between our company and one of the big national builders. And typically, you'd go to the national builders, more money, more upside, more advantages. And he asked me, the last question he asked me, he said, "Why would I come work for you guys versus this other company?" I said, "Because they don't have me." And
Mm-hmm.
I said, "I'm not saying this is an arrogant thing to say. I'm saying that I'm going to pour everything from me into you and help take you to where you want to go. And you won't get that anywhere else, because when we're done after 3 years, you can go anywhere you want." And that young man is currently making almost as much as I was making as a C-suite employee. And he's out in the field running projects. And that's only
Yeah.
like a 3 or 5 year period. Like, that's incredible growth, but it's because of the investment we made in him.
Yeah. There is this saying, I think it's Zig Ziglar, that people, they don't invest in their people, they don't coach their people because they are afraid that they're gonna go away to the competition. And then Zig Ziglar asked that, okay, but isn't there a greater risk
Yeah.
that you don't coach them and they're gonna stay?
Yes. You know, this is always the thing. And I think a lot of people have a scarcity mindset where they're so afraid of, if I pour into you, you're going to go and you're going to take it somewhere else.
Hmm.
And what I say is, I'm okay with that,
Hmm.
because when you go somewhere else, you're going to say, "Josh McMahon, he built me up. He gave me the foundation for my career. He put me in the position I'm in today. I have what I have because of my start.
Hmm.
You should go there and get the training from him." There's no shame in that, because
Yeah.
again, we go back to point number one, brand. That's time. That's my brand out in front of our company that adds value to our company.
So I started my career at KPMG, and one of the ideas that they had this pyramid structure up and out. But the idea was to take care of the people that even when they leave, they become ambassadors for you
Yeah,
on the client side, and then they're gonna convince the client to hire KPMG to be their auditor. And I really
exactly.
like this.
It's so special, right? Because I mean, Steve, you think about this. We worked together 2 or 3 years ago. We still stayed in touch, even though there's no financial gain. We still help each other where we can, because I want the best for you as you want the best for me. And that's what you're really looking for.
Yeah, it's true. And the thing about coaching is you have the double benefit because the company benefits
Yeah,
because it has motivated employees who are performing at the higher level than when they came in and at which level you hired them, frankly.
correct.
And then they are building a career, so they are building a career equity for themselves. And actually, that's why you get a better ROI on these people because
Yeah.
they have more career equity, they have more skill level than what you have to pay them because you are growing them.
That's exactly right. You're building into those individuals that generational wealth that most of us are seeking, or think that's out of reach. It's there. We just need somebody to believe in us, and that's really that piece. The third thing for me, especially in construction, it's the trade partners.
Mm.
And because as I think about, as a general contractor, that, look, I'm wearing a collared shirt. You're not going to see me on the job site swinging a hammer. I'm out there with the building plans. I'm verifying things. I'm scheduling. I'm doing more management level skills. That means my trade partners are carrying the lion's share of the work that actually goes into place. And as a construction company, we don't make money unless work goes in place. So I have to do the same thing I'm doing with my internal staff with my trade partners. I
Mm.
have to build them up. I have to elevate them. I have to put them in a position to win. And this is very basic. Schedule accurately, treat them like people, treat them with respect when you go on the job, support them, listen to their feedback. So if they're sharing something that's not working, listen to it with an open mind, and maybe we can do something different. Or we can share with them why we can't do something different, so they have a better understanding of the why behind what we're doing. So
Yeah,
the trade partners is my next big pillar.
and it's harder to manage trade partners. I mean, I'm not in the construction, but it's going to be harder because they are part time with you. They have other commitments
Yes.
that they have to observe. They don't wear your brand. They are being paid by someone else who may have a different corporate culture. than your company has, and you have to bring them in part-time and make them as good as your standard.
Yes. The hard thing is you have to share with them your vision first. This is who we are. This is what we stand for. Share with them your core values, and then build them up and show them that they're truly a partner in this. Most of us don't treat them like partners. We treat them like subcontractors. We treat them like they're inferior individuals, less than me. And I think they can work for you part time and do that. And you're absolutely right. But if we treat them like people, we build them up, they'll be there. Because I want to treat them in a way where, hey, you might be a great plumber, but you're a terrible business person. And I can maybe help you better understand. I say this, and I'm working with a young plumber who's bidding things, and he's just all over the place. And I'm saying, hey, how'd you come to this number? Well, I just know I need to make X dollars. I'm like, well, how do you know how much money you need to make? What's your break even number? What's your overhead burden? Starting to help him better understand how to break down the P&L, how to charge the right margin on the job so that you're getting work as consistently as you want, but most importantly, so you can grow your business and continue to support my business as it grows too.
Yeah, you want to create stability for them as well. And if you treat a subcontractor well, then they're going to prioritize you, weren't they?
Yes.
So they have other customers that may not treat them as well. You're going to get most of the energy from them if you treat them well, and that's also a huge benefit for your business.
There's nothing lost in that, right?
No.
Again, you've got brand ambassadors out there talking about, one, this guy builds a great house. He treats everybody great. You made the right choice buying with McMahon Custom Homes. Because Steve, if you've ever been on a job site, the trades will tell people what they feel, whether it's good or bad. So
Yeah.
you're getting it no matter what.
Yeah, you go and you look at the construction site and ask around, and then you will get exactly the kind of general contractor you may be dealing with.
Yes, I mean, absolutely. We love to talk. And so you want people talking the good things and talking up your business and what's happening in the field. And that's extremely valuable.
Okay, so step number one, brand awareness. We talked about that. Then supporting the team
Yes.
so that they feel that they are growing and they are recognized as individuals, that you care about them.
Yes.
Then the same goes with the trade partners. You support them even though they are not your employees.
Yes.
What's step four?
Yes. Step four is training. Okay. And training, I think of training in terms of systems that you're putting in place, constant, never ending improvement on those systems. Systems are not static. So training is a nonstop thing that we've got to continue investing in and keep helping to grow our team. So constant process improvement, having KPIs in place or metrics in place. And the reason for those metrics is simply, where do we need to focus our attention? What levers do we need to pull? And then I go back to the training. So then we train up on metrics that maybe aren't working the way that we want them to, or we're not getting the result that we want to get out of them. That's where the training really comes into place. And if we don't have that training in-house, what stuff outside of the company can we get them into? What type of training do they need to level them up? Because as I think about training, Steve, most of us think you've got to fit every box. You've got to be the perfect candidate. But you and I both know that I'm good at 3 out of the 5 things and you're good at 2 out of the 5 things. So we make a damn good team together. And that's okay. And we need to better learn how to train, cross-train each other, level one another up, and then find those right tools.
Absolutely. Okay, so what's the final piece of the flywheel?
Yeah. Well, I feel like if you're doing all these things, brand awareness, team support, trade partner support, and the right training, and you're doing this continuous basis, you're going to have customer satisfaction that's exactly what you want. Mm-hmm. You're going to create that customer experience because, look, at the end of the day, we're only here because of the customer. If the customer is not interested in buying my product, I don't have a business. And so all of these pieces drive that customer experience. That's what continues driving who I am. One thing I'm really focused on with customer satisfaction and experience is having good specifications written down. I think, yes, we're a custom home builder, but I have minimum standards that I want to achieve. So I have the minimum standards. Now, if your budget says, hey, we can't quite reach that level, well, we can certainly reduce our standard. And when I say reduce our standard, I don't mean cut a corner. I mean change from, say, a Kohler faucet down to a Delta faucet. It's still a great faucet. It's still a great brand. Maybe just not the same brand that I would use in this level of home. Or we can go the complete opposite direction and we can elevate that standard. But just having that set in place so that if I say, Steve, this home's going to cost you $1.2 million, and you're like, oh, great. Well, the other builder is 1.3 million, so you've got a better price. Okay, great. But what goes into the price? What are you getting for the price? So if I have those minimum standards baked, I can tell you this is what you're going to get for $1.2 million. Now we can go in and customize it and make it your home.
Mm-hmm.
Having clear expectations. How important are clear expectations, even in our coaching business, right? And it's not just clear expectations from me to you, it's clear expectations from you to me. I need to understand what your expectations are. I need to know that I can achieve your expectations. And I think that if I believe I can't, I need to be honest and say, look, I'm not the right builder for you. I'm not the right business for you, but here's
Or
two or
maybe
three builders
your
who are.
expectations are not realistic. Sometimes
Yeah.
that is the case, that for the budget that you have to make some trade-offs. And maybe you can have this man cave, but you'll have to cut back on the kitchen, and you'll have to discuss it with your wife.
And that's really key. So the thing that I love about being a custom builder is that my focus is on collaboration.
Mhm.
If you say, hey Josh, the budget, you come in at 1.2, but I really want to be at 1 million. Okay, great, Steve. I'm here to collaborate with you and show you ways that we can tweak and peak, pull this down, still future proof your home, because I want you to have the home that you want. And in 2 years, you can probably afford that additional $200,000. And I want to put you in a place where you can easily plug and play that versus, oh, now I got to rip out all these walls. I got to redo this. So it's not 200, it's 300. So that's where we can collaborate and really find the right pieces to put you in the best position.
Mhm. Mhm. That's very interesting. This whole
Yeah.
framework, the culture that you build here. Is this something that connects this whole framework, this idea that you have, how you're projecting the culture out into the customer service? Is this why you started the McMahon Custom Homes?
It truly is. Well, two parts, Steve. One, I'm an entrepreneur at heart, and I have fought this my entire life, and I've always thought there was something wrong with me. Why can't I just get on board? Why can't I just drink the Kool-Aid? Why can't I just get in line? And 2 or 3 years, I go into a company, I do great things, I start rebuilding things, and then I start to get that itch. And then I'm like, okay, I need to go somewhere else. And for a long time, I thought it was, well, I'm just moving to a new company to make more money, which
Mhm.
was true. I was making more money, but then I wasn't happy.
Mhm.
Again, it was never tied to the money. So it was really just that entrepreneur need. But the second piece was I've noticed for 10 years, a decade, that our industry is in need of a massive transformation. The antiquated way of doing business and how we do things, I think the builder suites and the stuff that we have at our disposal is really good, but it's not what everybody's looking for. But I couldn't tell you, the owner, hey, we got to scrap this, we need to do this, because ultimately, even as the integrator, my job is to bring your vision to life. And if this is part of your vision, then I need to bring this to life.
Mhm.
And so I started to realize with my entrepreneur spirit and my own ideas, I needed to start developing my own home building business to start bringing some of that to life, to really satisfy who I am and do the things that I wanted.
Yeah, this is so important because entrepreneurs, we have this frustration. We are somewhere and things are not going well as we would like, and we don't get to tell the boss how to do things because they have their own ideas and their own set ways, and then they just get irritated by all those ideas, and they feel like we are just being a disgruntled Grinch here, and this frustration eats away at you, and at some point you say, okay, what the heck, I'm just gonna rip the band-aid off, and I'll just try to figure it out, right?
It's very true. I mean, it's funny now looking back on it, because there were so many times where I didn't understand. I was like, what the heck is the matter with me? But you're exactly right. You're going to bang your head against the wall, and not everybody's cut out to be an entrepreneur, right? I mean, it sounds really great being self-employed, doing your own thing, making your own hours. It sounds great.
But I tell you something, Josh, not everyone is cut out to be an employee either.
No doubt, Steve. So true.
So it's the other side of the coin. Some people, I think, many of us become entrepreneurs because basically eliminate all viable alternatives.
Yeah, burn all the boats, right?
Yeah.
I think there's so much value in this. When the second time we really got introduced and really got to work together, you introduced the book Second in Command to me
Mhm.
by Cameron Harold. Big Cameron Harold fan, and the Second in Command book. And I read that book and I said, man, this is me. Like, I can do this. I love being more in the shadows and helping a visionary and grow their business and doing all that stuff. And what happened was I started to really enjoy being out there and networking and putting myself out and getting out in front of people. And then I was like, well, I'm a visionary. I can see what's going on in the future. And I think I was more of a visionary than the person who said he was a visionary. So it was really like, then we're clashing heads on which vision are we chasing. And I'm like, I got to get out of here because I'm steering you away from what you want to do. And that's not fair to you.
I think there are two major types of visionaries. There are the born visionaries, and then the ones that
Oh,
the evolved
yeah.
visionaries. So you have the born visionary who is a visionary because they are just not able to execute, but they can come up with the harebrained ideas, and if they find people who will execute for them, they are in luck, and then they might have a company. And then you have the evolved visionary who starts out doing the work, grinding, figuring things out, teaching themselves discipline and work ethic, and then they start to manage people because they are doing it better, so they get more responsibility, and then they become an integrator or operator, and at some point they want to come out of the cocoon and they want to do it themselves. And maybe you're that version of it, the evolved visionary.
You sum that up so perfectly because that's exactly how this whole thing transpired.
Love it. So tell me about what makes McMahon Custom Homes
Yeah.
unique beyond the culture. Is it the culture that makes you unique, or is there something else? So from the
No,
eyes of the customer, what makes you unique?
yeah, I don't know that it's our culture that makes us unique. I think what really makes us unique is that I think it's our process on how we do things. So we start everything with just an initial consultation, myself meeting with the home buyers. And typically it's a virtual meeting where I just want to learn more about your project. I'm interested in what you want to build, what your expectations are, what your non-negotiables are, and I just really explore everything under the sun about your project. And then I'm going to ask the dreaded question: what's your ideal budget? Most or a lot of people say, I don't want to give the budget. So, okay, what budget number scares you? Because as a custom home builder, I'm going to help you design the home that you want for the price that you want. But I'm going to also share with you if it's not possible.
Mhm.
If you have a home that's the design that's more than what your budget is, I'm going to share that with you in real time as soon as I can. So I'm very transparent. And I learned this working in my past where we wouldn't share those numbers with clients. And we had a client where we were $1 million over their ideal budget, and it was 6 or 8 months worth of working with them and $25,000 of actual costs. I don't need to tell you the homeowner was not pleased, and the homeowner did not pay that bill. So that was a major lost opportunity in the build, but also the opportunity cost and how much time we spent on it. So I learned from that and I said, hey, I don't want to do that. I don't need every buyer to be a yes. If I'm a good fit for you, I'm a good builder for you. Yeah, that's great. Let's go. Let's go. I want to build your house. I'm excited about building homes for people, but I don't need to build everybody's house because some people it's just not the right thing. So for me, I'm your guide in this process. So that's what I really pride myself in. You want to build a home, I'm going to guide you through this process, help you with each step of the way, help you with the county side, the field side. I'm here to guide you through that whole thing. We really work towards your budget, your ideal budget. We build it out. We're very transparent, a lot of clarity on what we're doing, where we can collaborate, where we can maybe say, hey, instead of $80,000 tile package, we can get a $45,000 tile package, right? So, because we're really looking for what's your vision for it.
Yeah.
What do you want to see? How do you want to feel? And we can help you pull that together.
Mhm. Yeah, I think that's very interesting because I can see that there is value being created when you have an empathetic CEO who runs the business, you in that case, who really gets to feel what the lifestyle of that individual is, what their vision is. You help them paint the picture so that you see it as well. And then you measure each element in proportion to their desires. Because
Yeah.
maybe they want they want a really flashy countertop in the kitchen, but they really don't care about what the deck is going to look like. Maybe it's a stupid example, but and when someone buys, I don't know, a standard home, then you are going to pay for stuff that you really don't care about, and you're not
Exactly.
going to get the stuff that uniquely is important to you. And
That's
with
right.
that approach that you're doing, you are measuring everything to the right degree, and it's going to be a perfectly balanced meal for the customer.
That's a great way of looking at it. That's exactly right. And the deck versus man cave or versus this, that's exactly the right way to look at it. A deck is a great add-on that can be done anytime in the build. It can be done anytime the home is. It's a minimal barrier of entry. Well, something on the inside of the house, the kitchen, the showstopper kitchen, that's a different story, right? Because now you're impacting your life, you're changing things. So if we understand that the kitchen is a really prime target, then we want to make sure we commit enough money to that area. We want to make sure we commit enough design hours to that area,
Mhm.
and maybe other areas are like, hey, minimum standard is great with us. Perfect, done.
Yeah, yeah. You only sleep in the bedroom. You don't do anything else.
E-
Uh,
exactly. Great point.
which is a problem in itself. Anyhow, so if someone would like to learn more and would like to maybe learn your ideas, maybe they want to be coached by you, or they want to learn about a McMahon house, what it takes to be in line with for Vaughn, and particularly if they are in Central Virginia, where
Yeah.
you work, where should they reach out and where can they find you?
Yeah, so several different places. McMahon Custom Homes LLC.com is our website, so you can certainly find us there. We have an active Instagram account, McMahon Custom Homes. Have an active Facebook account, again, McMahon Custom Homes. I do have a LinkedIn account for McMahon Custom Homes, also for myself. My wife and I host a bi-monthly podcast that we took a year hiatus, and we just started again in 2026. And our podcast is not on McMahon Custom Homes, but it's really about the construction industry, different things that you experience, and really just giving back and trying to help others, learn from maybe stuff that we did or things that we're experiencing. My wife is a designer, I'm the home builder, so you kind of get a good mixed bag, and that's Feed Me Your Construction content if you're ever interested in tuning into that.
Yeah. And if you would like to see what a collaboration between Josh and his wife looks like, then check out his website, McMahon Custom Homes, and you can check out his house or their house that they
Yeah,
built together. And it's a beautiful house.
yeah,
So
thank you.
it's a good start, a good space to start. Josh, loved it. Loved your content. Really interesting how you create that satisfaction pyramid in construction. And I think that parallels in other businesses. Obviously, the elements are slightly different, but brand awareness, supporting the team, supporting your partners, training your people, pouring into them, and then creating that customer satisfaction
Yeah.
is important in the industry. So thank you. If you enjoyed listening to this show, make sure you follow us on LinkedIn, on YouTube, and you stay tuned because every week I bring an exciting entrepreneur or thought leader on this show. Thank you for coming, Josh, and thanks for listening. Thanks for tuning in. For more practical ideas, join my free weekly newsletter at stevebreda.com/newsletter.